since my HP laptop has basically been giving me nothing but problems, I thought I'd make a video about it. Now, this is an HP DV6 a DV6Z 3000 from 2010 now. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape. I haven't really done anything to it other than upgrade the memory, and even before I upgrade the memory, it was still having issues, and the memory upgrade changed nothing. As you can see, it's in pretty good shape, but however, it's got problems. Now, the first problem I'm going to show you are the hardware problems, like externally. So, first off, the DC jack, as usual. Now, I know every laptop has this issue. The DC jack is already cracking. Now, this isn't really good, and it also shows that instead of putting the metal on here, like they should have done for the rest of it, because after all, this was the Select Edition, they just put cheap plastic. The cheap plastic becomes evident when you look at the bottom. Another problem with HP laptops that has been happening for years and they haven't given a crap about are the fans. These fans mostly blow out a little bit down here and mostly out the side, except they seem to be very inefficient in what they do. And as you can see, the inefficiency has built up and there's already been bulging of the fan cover. Because of all the heat, the fan cannot pull out. Now, maybe this is due to the fact that this has the 5650 option with the ATI GPU in it, but that's no excuse. It shouldn't be doing that. I mean, I've had other hardware issues too with it, but I'm gonna have to open the laptop up to show you. So let me do that for a second. See, the laptop is loaded. Now, let me show you all the design problems with this machine that aren't thermal related. Now, I know there's been warping and scratches all on the side of the laptop, which I've shown you, but first off, the keyboard. Apparently HP thought it was a good idea to put a mini keyboard in instead of a full-size keyboard, which is dumb because many programs, if I want to use a program which requires a full-size keyboard like Xfire, where I have to hit scroll lock X, I can't do that because, as you can see, there's no scroll lock key on the keyboard. Second off, this row. Why did they add this row? It's confusing and can mess you up. For example, if you hit Control Delete, you'll hit the calculator button instead. Another problem is the touchscreen on this thing. This thing was ordered with a touchscreen option, and usually, as you can see here, if the camera focuses, that is. Well, I think you can partially see, but as you can see, it works for most programs. And if I put it in Vista or XP or certain Linuxes, it'll actually pick up the touchscreen and use it too as a stylus for a tablet. So, however, it has an issue. Randomly, if I leave the laptop on for so long, the touchscreen will just stop working. I don't know why, but it does that all the time. The Wi-Fi in this thing has been another nightmare. Now, I know this is a lot better because it actually works half the time, unlike my Presario F700, but here's the thing. On certain routers, it will have connection issues. It'll lag, pages won't load, it'll drop the connections, Xfire will pop up saying you've been disconnected. And it does that all the time, no matter where I'm at, especially if I'm at, like, grandparents' house. Their router seems to do it a lot, and the one right here is much better at it, but for a while it was actually kicking off too. Now, the drivers with this thing are another problem, especially the ATI drivers. Apparently ATI put their own stupid ass switchable graphics because apparently it's supposed to save battery life, but the problem is it really kills your performance if you're trying to game in the car. So it automatically is supposed to switch, except the minute you unplug it, it'll just suddenly switch without even asking. And then the switching can take a while. And then during this time, you can't even use your computer, and half the time the switching will just glitch up, and Sometimes you'll get stuck with Vista Basic, other times it'll glitch and say that Catalyst Control Center stopped working. I mean, could they have seriously bug tested this more? And I've had problems where sometimes the laptop won't come up when I open it, which hasn't happened as much lately, but it happened the first time I got the laptop, and of course the temperature. I'm going to leave the laptop on for a while and show you how hot it's getting. Right now, it's not that hot, but I guarantee it's going to get real hot later on. Right, so I've been playing Halo C for a while just to let the GPU heat up, and as you can see, or hear, the GPU is running really fast right now, and it's really hot to the touch. And according to SpeedFan, it's running at 70 degrees Celsius. Now, if I watch YouTube for a long time, it'll get really hot, but if I like let it sit for a while, then it'll just dip back for some reason, which I don't know why though. Let's just say the fan of this thing, along with the GPU that gets really hot, isn't a very good combination, especially considering it's an HP fan, and as we all know, HP fans get really hot really easily and fail a lot. In fact, I've had this laptop sent in about 5 or 6 times just to replace the fan. Every time they replace the fan, it'll just go out again. In fact, if you're going to get an HP laptop, please get the extended warranty, or else you will be replacing fans all the time. And that's another problem with these things. The fans, like, they go off so much that you'll be sending these in for repair. Luckily, if you have a warranty and it's still going, you can call HP and they'll replace the fan for absolutely nothing. So I think you should give that a shot if your laptop's still in warranty. If it's out of warranty though, you are screwed big time. Another problem with this laptop is the headphone jack. When you have headphones plugged in, they will get, if you use the jack a lot, it will just get loose and will start moving up and down. Eventually you'll start to have sound cutouts if you don't move the headphones to the right position, like this, where the jack is very loose and wobbles up and down, and eventually the jack will break and stuff will happen, such as your computer being not be able to tell whether it's actually working with headphones or not. So if this happens, you might have to contact HP support and send it in, which is another issue I've had with this laptop. Support issues they can't always magically fix, like the touchscreen issue didn't get fixed. Now, it could be Windows install, but for all you know, it might just be a piece of crap hardware HP is unwilling to fix. And now the laptop's been on for a while, and as you can see, the touchscreen is not working. Even though Windows says I have a touchscreen, it's not working for some reason. As for SpeedFan, SpeedFan says the temperature is about 60 to 65 degrees, and I haven't even been doing anything with it other than just go on YouTube and use the internet. And it's getting really hot, and the fan is really hot, all just for that. And if I shut the laptop and open it up, it'll work again. Let's open the laptop up again, shall we? So the touchscreen now, it's only barely working. It's reading it like a single touch screen and not a multi-touch screen. I can't do any multi-touch gestures. It just acts like a single touch one for some reason. And I called HP about it, and when I sent it in for the last fan repair, they didn't do anything about it. Oh yeah, and Skype crashes a lot too. I'm gonna try reinstalling Windows. That might fix some of them, but it won't fix any of the hardware issues like I mentioned. the worst part about this is that this isn't the first time I've had a crappy HP. This is a compact Versario F730 US from about 2007, and this laptop worked until about 2009 when the GPU clunked out. Until the GPU clunked out, it had problems. First, the Wi-Fi broke. These things were notorious for having crappy Wi-Fi, and it would require replacing the system board. The second problem, which was also system board related, was that here's what happened. When you shut the laptop, it wouldn't go into standby mode. No matter which operating system I had, it wouldn't go into standby mode. So when I shut it, it would stay on, it would be... The third problem is the fans. The fans on these things were terrible. As you can see, there's still a pattern from all the dust that was stuck in the fan. Well, not as visible, but... These fans were also cloggy because they had a very similar fan design. Placed on the bottom, where dust got clogged through easily right up here. Luckily, it was easy to clean out, but these fans were bad too. The only problem was the warranty was 1 year, so I couldn't just call up HP to have them swap the fan out because the thing was so crappy. So, if you're going to buy an oh yeah, and the worst part about these is that the fact that they class actioned similar models, but the F730, which was based on the same motherboard as some of the other models, was not class actioned. So in other words, this laptop is just sitting here as a paperweight because HP, they don't give a crap. They were never going to replace it when the class action was going, only replacing the similar DV6Z and other models based off the same cheap architecture. So here's my advice if you're buying an HP. If you're going to buy an HP, if you have to, that is, because you shouldn't buy HP, get an extremely long warranty, and only do it if you're getting an extremely good deal, as in a deal so good you're basically getting it for really cheap or nothing. And it has to have a long warranty, because if you're not, you shouldn't buy this crap. Just get a better PC. I'm probably going to buy a Sony Vaio, a ThinkPad, or an Asus, or a Toshiba next time. Not a Dell, because I heard they're crappy. So, all in all, please avoid HP. Don't ever buy them, and don't end up like I did by making the mistake of buying an HP. Thank you, and subscribe for more.